So a bit about myself before we get into it. Um, I've been in sales exactly a year last week. So I was kind of working my 9 to 5, always wanted to make money online, wasn't really sure where to actually go and what to do. And I had a conversation with Junior actually, and actually before I even knew anything really about sales, I gave him money like 2 days later to actually just train me up and just dive straight into it. And then like 2 weeks later, I quit my 9 to 5 before I even made money online. So because in my back of my head, I always knew that if you put yourself in an uncomfortable position, you have no choice but to succeed, right? So with this whole with the appointment setting thing, I'm not really gonna go into the basics of stuff. I'm gonna ask you guys, what do you guys actually want to talk about in terms of appointment setting, offers, mindset? Anyone?
I think for me it's more like, because obviously when you're on a partner setting, right, like the whole sales cycle, like getting the deal closed, you're just setting the deal, like you're not actually obviously collecting the premium, like at the end of the call, like how do you kind of switch your mindset to like everything is down to me now as a closer for the moment, like whether this deal closes or not.
So the question is,
Like how do you shift your mindset, like can I actually do this, like can I actually,
so that kind of goes back to what Daniel was saying about like belief in yourself, right? And with appointment setting, you shouldn't really be thinking about like the outcome, how much money you're going to make from a deal, right? Because it's sales. Your job as a salesperson is to actually help a person. So kind of detach yourself from the outcome. And firstly, if you don't really believe in yourself, you can't really set a person, right? Because how are you going to set that person on for a call with a closer who's then going to change their lives if you can't really do that for yourself? That can answer your question. Yeah. Does anyone have any other topics they kind of want me to go over?
This one might be for Junior, so tell me if it is or not. How can you make a setting style for your reps to follow? I know a lot of people talk about getting it copy and paste ready, or like looking up to be copy and paste, maybe the better word to use. But how can you find that, and how can you make it work with your offer? Or relevant to the way as well. Anyone will know.
But I'll touch on that framework and structure. So best way to set people is by having a genuine conversation with them. In sales, your purpose isn't to like sell someone. It's to actually help them, right? So when you're having a kind of like, if you're making a framework, the best way, like I've learned from Richard Yu, because he was making $1 million a month and I hopped on his offer, was to obviously have your intro question, then qualify like how old are you, what do you do for work. Then you want to go into pain/goal. So what are you truly trying to achieve with this? Then from there, you want to go into into the time frame they wanted to achieve that. And by doing that, in their head, they're going to be like, I've wanted to achieve this goal for the past 5 years. So they become aware of that. And then after they kind of give you that time frame, you go into what do you feel has stopped you from actually achieving that. Again, what that does for them is they have the realization that I've had this goal for 5 years and I haven't done it, right? And then they start thinking, why haven't I done that? So you don't want to like assume things inside, like saying you want to kind of, you don't want to give them options either. You want them to think about the answer themselves. So when you say, what do you feel has stopped you, instead of saying like, do you feel like it was your schedule, your routine, time, you don't say any of that. You just say, what do you feel has stopped you? They're going to tell you the answer of what has actually stopped them. And then from there, you want to go into like, it depends on the offer, because I've been on offers where they'll go straight into like a VSL or they'll go into the financial question. What I can do is, I'll give both scenarios. So if you're going into a VSL mid-conversation, the best way to do that is to frame it in their benefit, right? And this is for no-shows as well. When you're setting, if you frame things in their benefit, they're more likely to do it, right? So if you're framing them for a VSL, it's like, I have this 20-minute video where it breaks down how I can help you step by step to achieve your goal. It's about them, right? And they're more likely to actually do that. Then once they watch the video, you ask what their takeaways is, and then from there you get their buy-in, okay? What were your main takeaways? They'll tell you X, Y, Z, and do you feel like this can actually help you? Yeah, cool. Then you actually pitch the call then. So when you're pitching the call, again, in their benefit, right? Would you be open for a conversation where we can show you X, Y, Z on how we can actually help you achieve your goals? That's how you actually decrease no-shows as well, by actually framing everything in their benefit. Yeah, answer your question. Yeah. But, offers. Who asked about offers? With offers, it's funny enough. You obviously have the people that do like 200 outreach messages a day. It doesn't really work. It worked before, but it doesn't really work anymore. The best way to go get offers is by, I think Daniel said it, by like networking, communities. So the way I got my first offer was I joined school, and then like in school there's loads of offers, there's loads of communities. So you literally just join those communities, they'll have job boards and you're able to join them, right? Those are obviously free ones, right? And if you want to actually like speed up the process, invest in yourself. There's a load of places where you can just give your money and you get access to a pipeline of offers. And to be honest, that way is probably the most effective, right? Because you're saving your time. You're able to actually get to where you want to be a lot faster as well. So, and then how to actually vet offers. When you see an offer, a lot of them kind of do bullshit, right? They'll say like, oh, we're 500K rev a month. Ask them what the cash collected is. So like if you see 500K rev, that's not how much the offer is actually doing. You want to actually ask them what's the cash collected, because that's how you know what the actual OT is. Interviews then. Who asked about the interviews here? Not sure.
I've got a question on offers while we're still on it. How does setting differ on B2B offers and B2C offers?
Good question. With B2B offers, obviously those people are more opportunity aware, so you're not really dragging out their pain or goal. You have to ask them questions about their business, where they want to be, what their business is struggling with, and do they need help. So you don't really ask the questions about like the person themselves. Whereas B2C, you have to find their pain, goal, because they're not opportunity aware.
With B2B, well, the kind of points I was getting at with that question was, with B2B people, if you speak to other entrepreneurs, especially in the online space, they kind of sense that they're being set. So how could someone who's working on a B2B offer try and get around that issue?
From experience, whenever I'd have like that person that has the ego, is like, I know I'm being set here, I don't drop my frame. I'll tell them I have a process that I bring everyone through, no exceptions. If that's cool, we can continue. And 10 out of 10 times, they'll just fall back in line.
Nice, that's good.
And then interviews.
So what advice would you give to me in terms of like setting and booking more calls?
On how to actually book more calls.
Yeah, as in like how to book more calls in the end.
What's your process? Are you doing like inbound, outbound, ads?
Yeah, right. So the ads, as I said before, those are going to get launched next. But right now it's primarily outbound and a little bit of inbound, but primarily outbound.
Okay. To book more calls, I don't know if any of you have heard this. Have you heard of speed to lead?
Yeah.
The faster you can get to a person, the faster their sales journey is, right? So the whole point of that is if you give someone barely any time to think about it, they're more likely to actually jump on a call and close the deal. So if you can make their sales journey really short, their deal is probably going to close a lot faster. So prioritize like actually like talking to these people really, really fast. I don't know, do you have a setter?
Yeah, I've got one setter, yeah.
How hard does he work?
40 a day, 40 outbound per day.
Okay, bet. And then does he do follow-ups?
Yeah, but I probably push him more for the follow-up.
How many follow-ups a day?
He tries to do all of them, but he doesn't always do them.
So if you're doing 40 outbound messages a day, that's about 280 messages a week. So the best way to get people back in the pipeline, with your follow-ups, like you want to do like a casual follow-up, right? Something like, hey, I just finished the gym right now. Thought I'd check back in with you. So it's like nice and casual. But if they don't reply to that one, you need to go for a second follow-up. You kind of want to slap them in the face a little and say this, like, if they're actually interested in it, just be like, this requires time. Is that something that you can actually dedicate towards right now or something along those lines? And then usually they'll reply after the second one, right? Because they realize like, oh, I actually need to text this person back.
Yeah. And by the way, so the thing about speed to lead, are you basically saying that the response time needs to be quick?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So like don't leave like hours and hours between.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. I took like 3 weeks off setting, and my first day back, I was talking to like 50 leads like in the one go. So I was like back-to-back conversations, and everyone that was replying to me really fast, I prioritized them, And then what happened that day was I collected 30K cash collected just because I prioritized the ones that were actually replying really fast. Because again, like the speed, the sales journey, right? The quicker you can get them in the door, the quicker they don't have, the less they have to think about it, the quicker the deal closes. Makes sense. But what was your question on the interviews?
Well, yeah, just like how to stand out on interviews.
All right, so if I asked you, what are you looking to achieve with this offer? What are you going to tell me?
Initially, I'd say that I want to do the best for the team and best for myself, and I can bring this, and this to.
But why?
So, just like in terms of strengths, like coachability, work ethic, hunger.
Okay. With interviews, like I've landed every single interview I've gotten on, and it's because on the interviews they hear the same thing all the time. I want to make 10K a month with this offer. I want to achieve XYZ. I want to buy a nice car, whatever the fuck it is. They don't care about that. They really don't. If you, I have it down there, purpose. So you actually tell them the reason why you want to make money, right? If I hopped on an interview, I'm telling them I want to retire my parents. I want to lead by example for my siblings. That's the stuff they care about, right? Because they know that's a person that has goals, has a purpose, and will actually work harder than everyone else.
It's like a reason why.
Yeah, a reason why. And what was the other thing that I just thought of as well? And then there's trick questions on interviews as well. Like, if someone asks you, like, what's your schedule? Like, what are you saying?
I say how I'll just work like any time, just based on like where the offer's at.
Okay. Your answer every single time they ask what your schedule is, you are free 24/7. The schedule thing is like, it's just a trick question. They don't care about your schedule, right? They don't care if you have a 9 to 5. They don't care if you have college. You tell them that stuff, it's a massive red flag. They're probably not going to take you on. It happened to one of the guys I'm training. He landed an offer with 3K base, and everything was good. He was going up to the onboarding call, and then before he hopped on the onboard call, they asked him what his schedule was. He then told them, "Oh, I have college." Do you know what happened? He didn't hop on that offer, so he missed the chance on having 5% commission, and 3K base, just because he told them his schedule.
Yeah, makes sense. And how would you like overcome, say, trick questions, for example?
They don't really have that many trick questions. Literally just the schedule thing. They want to see like how much work you're going to put in. Yeah, they want to actually see if you're committed. And then as well, I know Daniel said that he was kind of waiting for everyone else to answer when he was on the interview. One advice I got from a sales manager was always be the first person to speak as well, because that shows that you have the balls. That shows that if you're the first person to answer, like, you can't copy anyone else's answer. Like, you stand out automatically.
Yeah, to be fair, like that was something I did actually implement when I did do like recent interviews. I just made sure I got my foot in the door before anyone else, because it just shows like authority and you can actually lead.
Yeah.
Lead by example.
And another thing as well, this is like a small thing, but like, don't ever join an interview on your phone. Because I had a guy before, he hopped on an interview on the phone and he was automatically disqualified. Like, it was like brutal, but like, first impressions matter.
That's something I wanted to share as well. Someone I was speaking to, they were saying how, like, there's something I learned very recently, that they literally will see everyone join, and they'll find out, oh, this person's not getting in. Like, they'll disqualify you immediately.
Yeah, like imagine being a sales manager and you have people joining your call and one of their names is iPhone. Like, why would they pick you over the other ones that have a nice setup, they came prepared, and they're ready to go?
Yeah.
But does that kind of answer your question on interviews and stuff? Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, no, thank you.
But does anyone have any other questions on?
Add to that as well, and interviews follow up as well. Because sometimes people they crush an interview, but then the interviewer gets busy, the offer, maybe things stalled, and they just let it go.
Yeah.
Put them in the email, like treat it like they're a lead. If you have to record a loop, send it to them. Just treat them like a lead and close the door.
But funny enough, I think it was Junior. He was talking to someone, and he was on about like bringing in a sales rep, and he was talking about the guy that was following up with him. That's the guy he wants to get on. So like that shows you like if someone's following up, they're hungry, they really want to get to work. Because a sales manager would rather hire someone with barely any experience, but they have hunger, they have the drive, than someone that has experience but is not actually willing to put in the work.
Yeah, to be fair, I was actually going to ask you that. Now that I was going to ask about experience, and I should have asked this earlier, to be fair. Like, does it matter about experience?
Experience doesn't matter at all, to be honest with you. Because I've talked to loads of sales managers. Honestly, like, even for myself, when I was coaching setters, I would rather coach the guy that doesn't really have experience, but like he's putting hours in, right? Because that person's coachable, he's hungry, and he's actually putting in the work. I don't have to follow up with him and say, why have you only hit 50 dials today, right? Because hunger beats experience on the interviews, to be honest with you.
Makes sense. Because sometimes it's like, I'll be honest, like I used to try and just say, oh, I did this number, and then I'm realising the mistake is that can come across inauthentic, whereas if they ask me about numbers, I've just got to be more real and just show that I'm actually willing to do what it takes to actually succeed in the role. Like, that's more important than saying your numbers is something I've learned also.
100%. For interviews, I think the biggest thing is just showing that you have an emotion, you're driven, and you back yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like I hopped on an interview with Richard Yu's team, and they were doing $1 million a month, and I was just having a good conversation with the sales manager, and I actually shed a tear like when I was talking to the sales manager, because I was just talking about my own goals, but like from there I was literally in the door, because he's seen the emotion, he's seen how much it actually meant to me. So like sell yourself on that side of things as well, right? If you have a reason why, tell them. You want to retire your parents, tell them.
Yeah, and even if it's like making someone proud, it's like...
Yeah, that's still a why. That's still better than I want to make 10K a month.
Yeah, I want like to be financially independent, yeah. Like that's a thing pretty much not to say.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate all that, and thank you as well to Daniel as well.
Do any of you actually use setters for your offer? You use setters? Do any of you? But the best way to I'll go into a bit on how to actually coach setters. Setters can be like very lazy sometimes. Like we can agree that. The easiest way to kind of get the most out of your setters is by having daily calls with them and actually holding them accountable, right? Because if you're holding people accountable to KPIs, like they're not going to fuck up. They know that if they don't do this, there's going to be someone on their case 24/7. So best way to actually get the most out of your setters is literally just be on their case 24/7, right? With good setters, you won't need to be, but if you see your setter not actually like putting in the work and you're constantly on his case, you probably have to get rid of him. As brutal as that sounds. And I wanted to talk about internal and external kind of a mindset thing. Do any of you know what like internal like excuses are? No? Do any of you know what external excuses are?
Would you say external things are more like outside of your control?
Right, yeah. So it's like when you hop on a sales call and the lead tells you about, I don't have enough time, I don't have resources, I don't have the knowledge. All of that stuff they tell you is actually bullshit, right? Because it's not about having time. You can make the time if you really want something. There is hundreds of free videos out there to actually get the resources and get the knowledge. And then money as well, it's not really about having money. If you really want to get resourceful, like you can make it happen. So like this is something I brought into myself as well when I'm setting whatever I'm doing in life, is instead of giving yourself those external excuses, or if you notice yourself giving yourself external excuses, kind of ask yourself, why are you giving yourself those excuses, right? Like if you're procrastinating, it's a lot deeper than that. If you're being lazy, it's because of something. It's either the fear of something, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, self-doubt. Just always ask yourself, why am I actually not doing this, right? Because you can't tell me you procrastinate for no reason. You're just thinking about it. Was that fair to say? But, my first time doing this. What else can I talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More from like a operational standpoint of setting. Where I was at my 9 to 5 before, I had to set over the phone, close over the phone, everything was done over the phone. So where I'm at with my offer now, my own agency, part of the SOP, the closing and the audit is done over the Zoom or like a Google Meet with the prospect. So it's quite a new process for me right now to call someone up and get them to commit to an actual video call. So I was just wondering if there's any good tips you have just to get someone to commit over the phone to an actual meeting rather than I'm used to just saying, okay, I'll give you a call on this day.
It actually is really easy. Like going back to what I said at the start, people don't like to feel like they're being sold to, right? But if you hop on the call and you have a genuine conversation with them and you kind of talk to them like they're your friend, they're going to open up a lot to you and they're actually going to be down to kind of jump on a call, right? But if they feel like you're hopping on, you're asking them sales questions, interview questions, they're going to have their guard up. They're not really going to be willing to jump on a call. They're not really going to be willing to do whatever. But if you just have a genuine conversation, because behind the screen is a person, right? No one wants to be sold to. They'd rather someone actually try and help them. So just kind of think about that. If you kind of feel like someone's being a bit resistant, like try to acknowledge them or try to actually get them to open up. But anyone have any questions? No.
Yeah, to be fair, actually, in terms of like role plays, and so say balancing role plays alongside like actually doing the job or applying for roles, how would you say you can balance all that?
What, role plays?
Yeah.
So is this if you already have an offer?
It can be having an offer, it can be not having an offer.
Okay, if you have an offer, the best way to do role plays is to just text the other people inside your offer and actually like get on a call, do mock calls, just keep running loads of mock calls, because the best way to get better at something is by putting in the reps and actually like doing it a lot. And then if you're outside of an offer, you don't really have that much time to, you have a lot of time to actually put in role plays, right? So like schedule like a block out where you're doing like 3 hours of role plays with people. Like that's going to be effective because that's improving your skill.
And then like how would you say balance in terms of time management, in terms of role plays, applying for roles, and then working on the offer? How would you recommend actually doing that?
That's a good question. So the way I do with my guys is, so they obviously have access to like 500 plus offers. So I'll get them to do like 20 applications a day, and they'll do that in like 2 hours. And then from there, they'll start role playing with the rest of the community. So like really finding the right routine for yourself, because I can't really tell you what to do because I don't know what your day to day is, right? Yeah. But if you find the right routine for yourself, so ask yourself, how many hours am I going to put towards actually finding an offer? How many hours am I going to put forward to doing role playing and improving my skill? Yeah. Then you'll be able to actually figure out what's best for yourself.
Makes sense. Yeah, thank you for that.
No problem.
Yeah, just wanted to ask you a mindset question. You were saying just now about procrastination, how there's always a reason why someone procrastinates. What question do you think someone can ask themselves to find out the root cause of their procrastination?
Good question. The way I kind of get out of procrastinating is I think of my reason why. So like, if you're ask yourself, you said you have a fitness offer, right? What's the best way to put this? So when you have a fitness offer and you kind of procrastinate.
Yeah, I would just say like what I was talking to Daniel about. I'm really disciplined when it comes to like going to the gym. When it comes to the daily tasks I need to do to build out my fitness offer, such as content creation, making sure my set is on point. Some of these tasks I just let them step by me sometimes, and I don't feel the same guilt that I would feel if I left the gym and I do with the business plan.
Gotcha. I actually have a quick exercise that you can do. So like if you have a problem or you're procrastinating, again, I learned this from being on Richard Yu's offer. It's called 131 policy. So it's one problem, you have 3 recommended solutions, and then the other one is you go for the recommended solution. So if you're like, you have a problem, you're not sure what to do, ask yourself what the problem is, what are 3 different solutions I can do to solve that problem, and ask yourself what's the best one to go for. And I promise you, you will figure out how to actually get over that.
So if I have, for example, an issue with content creation, think of 3 solutions, then choose the best one.
Yeah. So give me an example of a problem you would have with content creation.
just procrastinating, like knowing the content, knowing the script, but just not getting around to doing it all the time.
But why aren't you getting to do it?
I don't know, because maybe I just make excuses about, oh, I've got X, Y, and Z to do, I've got my 9 to 5. I would always just like put it off and do other things, and then maybe I'll end up doing it last minute, but I should have done it more efficiently.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Why do you have a fitness offer?
I've got a fitness offer because I lost a lot of weight, right? I lost 100 pounds and it changed my life completely. And I really enjoy helping other people with their health and fitness. I wish I knew it can also give me the opportunity to develop financial independence, which is also very important to me. But I just love the fitness lifestyle. I love being able to help people, and I want to be able to develop my own financial independence by helping others.
Okay. And what do you actually want to achieve with your offer?
In terms of what?
Just anything. Like, what's your goal with your offer? Like, what do you actually want to achieve?
My goal is to achieve financial independence, so I don't have to worry about money. You know, and be able to help my family, be able to live the lifestyle that I want to live, and not have money be an obstacle.
Okay. And then what do you need to actually do all of that? What do you need to do?
With my offer,
Yeah.
I need to scale it.
And how are you going to do that?
I need to book more calls and close more calls.
And also you have to obviously post content to get out there, right?
Yeah.
So ask yourself, like, what is the things that's going to actually help me achieve what I want to achieve, right? If posting content is what's going to help you, get the content done, right? Because it's not actually benefiting you procrastinating about it. I heard someone say before that they're kind of a perfectionist. The thing about being a perfectionist, you're just kind of thinking about what to do, but that doesn't actually get you any results, right? So instead of just kind of thinking of doing something, just fucking do it. Like, it's really that easy. If you have a goal and you understand why that's your goal, ask yourself what you need to do to actually achieve that goal. Answer your question.
That's crazy because it's so simple what you just said, but like you're right, like the content is super key for me. So I need to like connect back to my end goal and see that this is actually how I'm going to get there.
Right. Because in order for you to actually close deals, how's the only way you're actually going to get leads?
Content.
Right. So by you procrastinating and not actually doing the content, is your business going to be able to grow? So what do you need to do? Okay. But
I've got a question. Because I had a point, but I don't want to make a point, so I want to hear your point. So the question is, internal excuses, external excuses. When you're aware of them, how do you treat them?
the best way to treat them is to it's like being on a closing call, right? Where you're helping a lead to overcome something. The best way to actually treat a problem you're having is by taking a step towards it. So instead of like allowing it to like overcome you and like kind of procrastinating about it, ask yourself like, what can you do to actually get over that right now?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I want to add to that as well.
Yeah.
So there's a Bible verse, right? That it's a totally different thing, but it makes a lot of sense. Which basically it says like, if your right hand causes you to sin, cut off your right hand. It goes that drastic. And I heard Paul Daly say it this way, which is like, if there's anything that's holding you back from doing the things you need to do, treat it as brutally as you cutting off your hand because it's causing you to sin. Meaning, if you have observed your life, you've observed your internal excuses, and it comes down to the point where this relationship or this job or this city or anything is the one thing holding you back, cut it off. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
Treat it brutally, because you're at war with yourself.
100%.
Because you mentioned your job. So I'm going to tell you what to do, man. If your job is part of it, when you get everything out of the way, and if that's the only thing that's holding you back, I think it's worth just thinking, is that safety net that's holding you back from getting the things that need to get done. Because if I didn't have that, hosting content wouldn't be as daunting as it is right now.
Yeah. How many hours do you do in your 9 to 5?
40 hours, so it's 8 hours per week.
Okay. 40 hours. And do you mind me asking, like, why do you still do your 9 to 5?
Yeah, so I think, I guess like you were saying, just the safety net, because I had the job before, and then, actually, you know what, I actually started the fitness coaching before I had the job. But then I guess I got comfortable. I just started to like not, do as much.
Right? And I'll use myself as an example as well. When I got into setting, the first thing I did before even landing an offer was I quit my job, right? Because you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and people die in the comfort zone, right? So like you having that safety net is only holding you back. If you were to completely get rid of that safety net, that 9 to 5, I promise you're going to actually start putting in a lot more work, because by you not doing anything, that's not going to pay your bills. You're not going to be able to survive, right?
And bro, we're not saying for your job. We're not saying, but I do, yeah, like. But here's the thing where it's like you're telling yourself something. You in the conscious level, I'm handing in my notice and I'm not going into my job. But then your subconscious is hearing the message of this offer, my content, this fitness coaching is the most important thing to me. That I will make it by any means. And what will happen is your mind will just start to find solutions, find creativity, and all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, I know exactly what I need to be doing right now. But when you don't exercise that part of your brain, it's just not active.
And it's like self-image as well. Like, do you see yourself as the person with an extra 160 hours a month who can generate £1,500 to £2,000 per year in your job? Do you see yourself as the person who can generate £2,000 if you do 160 hours in a month to do that? 40 hours a week. And also, if you break that down, that's £500 or $500 a week that you've got to make. You can do that in 40 hours.
Do you mind if I
500 quid, it's crazy.
ask something? You know, do you like work? Do you have to like commute to work as well?
Yeah, so I work from home 2 days a week, 3 days a week.
Yeah. And how long does the commute take?
About an hour.
An hour. So in theory, it's not really 40 hours then, because it's the time you're having to get to work, the time you get back to work, the time you're getting change. The time you're getting change, like, so you have to ask yourself, is it really 40 hours or is it actually more?
Sounds good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. You've ever heard the saying now, you need to become who you want to be? Does that 2.0 version of yourself who's helping other people change their lives, like, do you have a 9 to 5? Are you limited? Do you have something that you have to do 40 hours? Let's be honest. Do you enjoy your 9 to 5? Then why are you doing it?
Just being comfortable.
Right. And will being comfortable actually get you the results you want?
You've got to reframe yourself as well to realise that working that job is not comfort, that's actually discomfort. Like if you can tell yourself and you can truly believe that working that job isn't comfortable, and that's what I did to myself when I was with my job. I was like, this is so uncomfortable, I'm willing to do anything to change it. And then for me, that was a one-way flight to Thailand, not a fucking clue what to do. But you just got to make that situation, you've got to make going to your work so painful that it allows you to make that change.
And then as well, like that safety net, like that salary you're getting, like you probably have a salary, right? Yeah. That salary isn't there to actually keep you secure, it's to keep you trapped. Right?
Like a dog treat.
Well, like, it's the mental load as well. Like you're just thinking more about the 9 to 5 job as well. It's not just the time. It's actually you're thinking about I've got to get up for work. I've got to do this today.
The energy bottle.
Yeah, you have to like split your energy, business and your 9 to 5.
This is all facts, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think now?
What?
What do you think now?
I never really thought about quitting my 9 to 5 before having the financial security from my fitness coaching. I never actually thought about that. I always thought that I would like get to a certain level where my income from the coaching exceeds my income from, the 9 to 5. But hearing like what you guys are saying, it's making me question things. Because obviously I know a lot of you guys quit your 9 to 5 before you had the financial security. And that's, again, I never considered that. Because I just thought that would be risky, irresponsible. But
It is. But it's that.
Yeah, it is very risky, bro. Like,
Think of it this way, like if you quit your 9 to 5 and really focus on your business and it didn't work, you can just go get another 9 to 5.
Yeah.
There's also opportunity cost.
Yeah.
It's like the time it's going to take you to scale your business now in the hours of input you're capable of put in, versus how fast you'd be able to scale the business to the level you want to scale your business. If you had to look at the 60 hours a week plus 5 times 7, it's like 35 hours a week.
I think something that helped me a lot when I quit my 9 to 5, because I quit it last month, is I was watching listening to the podcast of Alex Hormozy and Stephen Bartlett, and he went into quite a lot on the podcast of what actually made him quit his job and start when he started. And it was like, I think when you're thinking of it, your brain just goes to the worst case scenario. So it's, oh, if I quit my job, I'm gonna not make any money, I'm gonna lose my security, I'm gonna not be able to afford food, I'm gonna be in poverty. But in reality, the worst case scenario is you'll just have to find another job. So however, when you think of the best case scenario, is you succeed, which you will, and you don't have to do it. So I think when you're thinking of the worst case scenarios, when you're weighing it up, it's not the worst case scenario really for you is you'll have to find another 9 to 5. But the best case scenario is that you achieve what you want to achieve with your business and you can actually help people.
And you never have to go down.
Exactly.
Anyways, thanks for having me.